Hello there, my crypto bit brothers and sisters. This here is Bulldog Rod, and over here you can see Papa Ron.
Good evening, good evening.
Now, in the world are you, Papa Ron?
Doing well, Rod.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, beautiful day. I'm alive. You know, I woke up, every morning I wake up, I just thank God because, as old as I am, I could just wake up dead one of these days,
Well, we're glad that hasn't happened yet.
Me too. I'm always glad to see the green grass instead of the roots.
You betcha. Folks, we're going to talk about Bitcoin a little bit and stuff. I got an interesting article or two here, but for the news.
The news.
And this comes out of Business Insider.
We love Business Insider.
Finance. Here's the title. The largest options exchange in the U.S. is moving in on 1.6 billion Bitcoin opportunity. And these people that are in these financial gurus and stuff, they're paying attention to Bitcoin. I mean, if they're not, even all the major bankers are at least making comments. People are aware what's going on. Matter of fact, Rod, we've heard of these Winklevoss twins.
Oh yeah,
Tyler and Cameron. They own Gemini Exchange.
Yep.
But there was some deal. They were in part of the, I don't want to say the start, but they got into Bitcoin really early on, and
yeah, they were real heavy in it.
Had a massive amount, and then something happened, and they left. There was some kind of dispute or something. But they left with literally a ton of Bitcoin, worth a lot of money. So they started Gemini. They still carry a lot of power. And they've been trying to set up they've been trying to get federal approval to do something with Bitcoin. To be able to
get in the trade. Remember the trade.
And the SEC and stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And they've been turned down, and I think there's been other players try to get that accomplished. But here, they're involved in this article, it says, and they're doing something. It's an opportunity for exchanges.
Merrill Lynch, ooh.
But with what's their exchange again? Gemini. Yeah. And so on, they're going to make an impact where they're going to start. And I am just terrible today with words. And generally, that don't happen too often.
No, it don't.
Speculate. They've got something going where they're going to speculate on the price of Bitcoin, either on stocks or something. Now, I know they're not on the stock exchange, but we'll put the link to this article down below. It's kind of interesting.
That kind of goes back to what we talked about, speculating that Bitcoin was going to go up in the next 3 months to $27,000 by the first quarter of next year.
Yeah.
So
we did that video not too long ago.
Yeah, better get on the bandwagon.
Well, let's get over to the market cap.
Okay, I like the market cap.
Bitcoin dropped there after we hit that high of about 6150 or something like that.
Yeah. I'm not worried.
No, it went down to about 55, but it's already back up to about 59.
58, 59. Mm-hmm.
And we just did a video too where we talked about Intel is getting into with Ledger. They've got something going on, and like we talked about, God, there's just so much action in the Bitcoin world and crypto world that
it's hard to keep up with it. It's all the news going on everywhere.
And there's so many places to find news. I mean, if I try to research something, it takes a half a day to hit all of these different platforms and sites to do any effective research.
Yeah, it does. It takes a lot.
So Bitcoin, it looks like it's kind of on their way back up. They're up about 3% in the last 24 hours.
Good.
I don't know what's going on with Ethereum. Still below 300. They had a little jump here, but they're pretty stagnant.
So is LiteCoin. Bummer.
Yeah, LiteCoin's back down to 55, and they were
Can't believe it.
A little over 60, I think.
I thought they was going to make it to 100 by the end of the year, but now I'm getting my doubts up.
Yeah, unless, LiteCoin has such a good platform. They're just so quick on the transactions, and you can use them for smaller transactions.
Yeah, that's one good thing.
They've got their Lightning program in there, and I don't know what it's going to take for them to jumpstart up to that past 100 again. I don't know.
I don't either.
But again, it's just back and forth. There's some red along here, and there's some green. So, but
more red than green.
Yeah, and I think it's because Bitcoin's on the way back up. Another thing to think about too, Rod, is you got around the 15th or 16th of November, we have another Bitcoin fork with Segwit 2X.
Yeah.
And this will be different than Bitcoin Gold that just forked. Segwit 2X has a lot of players on their side as far as developers and miners, I think, and then you got the people that are in the Bitcoin. But as we get closer to the middle of November, I think people from now till then are going to start selling off their altcoins and putting that money into Bitcoin, maybe to get that the Segwit 2X coin, because they're going to match Bitcoin. It'll be another fork.
Oh, it's going to be another one like to match Bitcoin?
Yes. So whatever Bitcoin you're in possession of, you'll get matching coins in Segwit 2X. We'll do a video on Segwit maybe here this next week as we get a little closer.
Okay, that'll be awesome.
But that could be, too, some of the reason that you'll see some fluctuation in these coins.
Very well could be.
It might cause Bitcoin to go up pretty good, people dumping into it, maybe. But tonight, we kind of want to get into this article we came across. I mean, it kind of attracted me, and it's out of the Motley Fool. I think it's the first time we've pulled an article out of this.
Sounds kind of foolish.
He's given 4 reasons why Bitcoin could hit 10 grand.
But then and why it's still not worth buying.
Yeah.
What does he mean still not worth buying?
That kind of caught my eye. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, I hope so.
So he basically starts here that, Bitcoin has done just phenomenal. Oh, yeah, check these numbers out here, Rod.
Okay, let's check it.
After all, it's saying here it could hit $10,000 pretty easy. It's rallied more than 500%, and some pundits believe it's still just clearing its throat, meaning it's going to go to 10 grand. After all, what's another 67% gain, because that's what it would take to get to 10,000, when it's up by more than 500% this year?
Oh my, oh yeah, that's what I want to say.
Keep checking this out. More than 2,000% in 2 years, and 2 million%, yes, 2 million% since March of 2010.
Oh my hell.
You show me another asset class that's done that, baby.
None.
It's out there. Listen, we're not going to read this whole thing, but basically here's his 4 reasons why he thinks Bitcoin could go to 10 grand. The rise of blockchain. And we just talked about that too, that blockchain is becoming so, just like the Intel article, and everybody seems to be utilizing this blockchain into their businesses to be more effective, more cost efficient, and so on. So he thinks the rise of blockchain usage and people putting it into their businesses will help Bitcoin go up.
Sure.
It's a valid reason. The U.S. dollar weakness. And if anybody watched current news and stuff, we know that China and Russia, first of all, you'd have to know what the petrodollar is. The petrodollar basically is, I think it was Nixon that went over to Saudi Arabia and said, hey, we're going to help you develop all this oil, put the fields in. The condition is that you only sell oil in U.S. dollars. So that's the agreement Saudi Arabia and some of those other Middle Eastern countries made, that they won't sell any oil unless it's in U.S. dollars. So you look at all the other countries, Russia, China, Japan, for them to buy oil, they've got to get a hold of our dollars, our petrodollars, or our fiat currency. But that is what's created such a economic kind of boom for us, because everybody needs our dollars to continue buying energy and oil. So that's the petrodollar. Well, and then if you even take now, I don't want to get into any theories about anything, but I'll skip that. But you got Russia and China right now creating a merger and saying that they're going to accept Chinese yuan for gold. And I think they're also coming up with a gold-backed currency. I just read this yesterday that they're going to peddle out there for countries to purchase oil with from, and they're even meeting with Saudi Arabia and stuff now. So what's that going to do to the petrodollar? There's going to be a weakness there, and I don't know if he doesn't explain that here, but he says that our dollar is weak, and more countries are getting away from this petrodollar. And that's going to raise Bitcoin up. That's going to be more of an asset class. Payment platform adoption. Now he talks here like Bitcoin's going to go up because it will be used as a currency. It'll be used as payments, but we know, those of us that have been around this a little while, that LiteCoin has a much better chance at becoming a everyday currency to be used than Bitcoin. One is Bitcoin. That's the reason Bitcoin's going through these hard forks. Their fees are so high and their blockchain is so slow to confirm the transaction. But you go to LiteCoin and in a matter of seconds you've got your confirmation and the exchange is done. And so I'm not so sure about Bitcoin being such a great payment or use currency, but that's one of his reasons. And the fourth one is emotions. And that's like people just wanting to get on the bandwagon. I mean, think about it, Rod. When you start to see the jump that Bitcoin's been making all the time,
yeah,
we just read the percentages.
Right.
People getting into it says, yeah, I want to get on that too. So they delve into Bitcoin and speculate. And he's right. That's probably a good reason why it's going to continue to have Bitcoin go up in value. I look a little dark right now. I'm sorry. I should turn a light on. So now let's go back and kind of see what he's saying about why he still feels it's not a good, was it an investment he said, or a good, and why it's still not worth buying.
Yeah, investing.
He kind of gives three reasons, risk ahead, three big reasons you should still avoid Bitcoin. While Bitcoin does have a number of catalysts that could push it to the psychological 10,000 mark, there's still three things. To begin with, regulation is a double-edged sword for Bitcoin. Through an increase of regulation would, in a way, validate Bitcoin as illegal. So they're trying to say that, the governments are trying to get a hold on this. And he even brings up China and South Korea, how China stopped the ICO platforms. But yet, I just think that's all temporary. I think there's enough evidence out there now that China is also getting back on board. Matter of fact, what did I just read? I read something where, well, it skips me now. So I don't really hold that as a great deterrent for Bitcoin. I don't think the government can really get a hold of this blockchain as of yet. Now, sure, they can put regulations in and all that, but there hasn't been much talk of all that. They do want to help regulate these ICOs from people getting burned. But other than that, I don't know a lot of federal regulation that's been talked about or coming forth. And if so, you know how long it takes to put things into works.
Yeah.
Any comment on that? No?
Yeah, I just don't know. Well, no, I was getting off track on this, what we're talking about anyway.
The second reason he says is there's no guarantee that blockchain will be adopted as rapidly as some investors believe. Well, my heck, we did a video on this, Rod, and it said out of the top 100 corporations in this country,
yeah,
over 50% of them are investigating and working on blockchain technology within their company now.
Yeah.
You got Samsung, Toyota, you got all the big boys that are putting blockchain into effect. And then it said out of that 50%, 75%, I think the article said, would have blockchain instituted by the end of this year. 75% of the 50%.
Yeah.
So this isn't valid either, I don't think. Adopted as
well,
rapidly.
That, our market cap, shows that Bitcoin is 57% of the market. Even though he says there's a lot of competition due to the other altcoins, granted, there is a lot of competition, but still, it's the granddaddy. And when it goes down, everybody goes down. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's a valid excuse either. Whether it happens fast or slow, companies are jumping on the blockchain technology all the time. And then the third and final factor that concerns me is that investors are focused more on Bitcoin as a mode of payment than for its blockchain. Again,
I could agree to that, though. You stop and think about it. I can agree to that.
I think most of us are...
The blockchain is what makes Bitcoin so good. And if you jump on the blockchain, then doesn't that make it Bitcoin stronger?
Well, blockchain is developed to support Bitcoin, the coin.
Yes.
And people are getting on the blockchain train in their companies, not necessarily using Bitcoin, though.
No.
But he's saying here investors are focused more on Bitcoin as a mode of payment, and I'm not sure I agree with that, really. I'm into Bitcoin for speculation. I don't use Bitcoin every day in my transactions, and I'm hoping that LiteCoin eventually comes to where we can use that more every day. And I'm an investor, so...
Oh, I see investors. Oh, okay. I was still thinking about businesses up from the second one.
And then it says...
number 2, yeah.
Right. Although there's no guarantee that Bitcoin's blockchain will be successful, heck, there ain't. Its blockchain is where the true value of the cryptocurrency lies. That's true. But the blockchain has already proven to be successful, not just with Bitcoin, but around the world, these people are taking it on. So, my personal views, I'm not sure all these really support the part of why he wouldn't buy Bitcoin.
Especially right there since the year began, 2 million% in just 7 years. Oh, my hell.
Well, even he thinks it's going to go up to 10 grand. But yet he doesn't want to get into it at 5,500 or 6,000.
And I think he's way off base there. I think it's going to be more than that.
Yeah, we've kind of thought that through too. Anyway, folks, again, I think that we're in this at a good time. I think even 2018, we're going to see this thing explode even more as more and more people become aware of it.
I do too.
Yeah. Folks, thanks for watching.
Thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you on the flip side.